Big John, what's up, man? Can you hear me? Big John, what's up, man? Can you hear me? Perfect. Yeah, just testing this out, see who else shows up. Hey, what's up, CSL? Do I still have the echo? Perfect. Yeah, I figured I'd try out the new internet in the shop. Got the Muddy SRE Beast. Hey, Hybrid, what's up, buddy? Trying something new here. UPS delivered a new package from ROVAN today, so I figured I'd open it up for everybody, see what we have. It's fifth scale stuff. Test it out to see if my connection's good enough for live stream. Sweet. Thanks, Hybrid. Brand new box. Chicken nuggets. Oh, boy. Where's the tacos, Hybrid? So what I ordered was a new engine. I'm going to send it to Wade. And this engine comes with its own linkage. I'm sure you guys know what that is by just looking at it. Got some parts for my 45. And then no tacos. If anybody can guess what's in, yeah, Big John got it. Oh, it's really not that heavy. Lots of bubble wrap. They wanted to keep it safe. Oh, look at that thing. Look how nice that case is. I can't believe it. Look at that. It's some serious engine right here, that's for sure. Let's pull it over together. Oh, got some serious compression on her. Oh, there we go. Yep. The 71 has a single ring piston. That's nice. Hey, Foundry, what's up, buddy? Yeah, it's a big old engine. It's nothing like an RC Max or Taylor RC engine, but it's some serious engine. For the money you pay for it, it was $600 delivered. Nice engine. Sickening compression. Absolutely. Yeah. Pretty cool. I just think it's cool. It comes with its own linkage and everything. Don't have to buy it separately. I'm going to throw it in my for this. for my XLT. Wait, two-stroke mixer, like a blender? Yeah. So yeah, I just figured open that up. I got this this is for my 45 that Wade's building, and he also needed a new flywheel for it too, because kind of building a long block type of deal. Those two-stroke blenders are awesome. I wish I had one. Perfect for tailgating. Coffee. Got to have the Timmies. Just because you're here, hybrid, I had to pull it out, buddy. I haven't touched it since the last video. I'm going to put that short course engine in here next. It's a winter project, I guess. Kind of got buried in the 5th scale. Yep. This is the real project here right now. This thing is amazing. That SRE 45 that Wade built, it's just an absolute animal. Hey, Ben, what's up? I don't know if anybody can see that, but where the pipe mounts, it snapped. This pipe snapped. If anybody watched my last video, when I jumped and then it landed and it did the barrel roll and flip and then it shut off, it busted this mount on the pipe and put a hole in the pipe. And I'm pretty sure that's why it started running like crap. Because if anybody watched that, it was not impressive after that jump and that crash. That's right, Big John. SRE power. SRE power. But yeah, I'm actually going to tear this down, take the pipe off right now so I can weld it up. Yeah, tumble wumble. I'm not in the UK over here, hybrid. So my favorite tool. Yeah, facepalm for sure. That pipe is like the one with the 30.5. Actually, this pipe, if I'm going to say anything, it's 2 of the 30.5 pipes, and they just welded them on top of each other. Yeah, I'm sure it is a breeze. It's my first one, my first live stream there, hybrid. I've been watching you on yours, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should try it out. Hey, Guru, what's up, buddy? Thanks, CSL. I like that. Thanks, Guru. Hit the thumbs up. Yeah, there's no editing with this hybrid. Nitro Freak, what's up, buddy? Right. Yeah, I'll show the damage. Hopefully the pipe is only the damage that's in here. See it right there. Oh, right here. There's a split in the weld. I don't want to get too close to my laptop. And it's quite the hole. Quite the leak. Always make space, Foundry. Always make space for an extra fifth scale. Come on. Honestly, the quality on that, I didn't see any difference. I mean, I've never had a Losi, but I don't think that there's really any difference between the Losi and the ROVANs. These clones nowadays are beautiful. I mean, you really can't go wrong for the price. You get the tires, the extended anodized billet, spot on the bed. There. Oh, this one's heavy. Right now it's just a roller, but I mean, come on. Look at all that anodized on there. You can't beat the price. It's all upgraded. All upgraded. Tons of work. Right, the same thing, hybrid. That's my Bang Good Baja that took 3 months to get to my house. I have not broken a single part on that one. Not a single thing. I've been robbing parts off of it, but I haven't broken a single thing on that thing, and it owes me nothing. For sure. Yeah, that's right, Ben. But what I did is I bought that same welder that you have. That's why I was asking you about that day. And we're going to patch it up. I might even try to modify it a little bit. Because if you stick them in like this, They will fit this way, but there's no way to mount it. And then it gives you more ground clearance here. So if I don't do that, I'm gonna try and modify it a little bit. The other idea I was having was because of how low it does sit, and you could see where it's all pitted and scratched here. I'm almost thinking about making the pipe into the wheelie bar and then adding a whole bunch of extra support so we're not torquing on the head too much. Hey, Addicted, what's up, buddy? Yeah, right, Foundry, what the whole MTXL should have been. I always wanted an MTXL. If I could find one for a good price, I'd still probably buy one. But that's kind of in its place for now. Let me catch up on this chat. Got a welder, man. You can weld the bracket on anything in any way you need. That's right. That's right. Right, hybrid. With that pipe is in the way. It's too low. You lose a whole bunch of ground clearance. Honestly, that 30.5 pipe, that high rev pipe, I'm pretty sure that's what ROVAN puts on the that Max 5T, not the TS, but the Max 5T. They might put it on the TS too. I don't know. But the truck body, I think that's what they put on there. Yeah. Yeah, that's another putting the wheelie bar on there, grind a hole, yeah. I agree. I think the 30.5 pipe is fine. It's the expansion chamber, to my understanding. And as Wade says from SRE, your pipe controls your over rev. The one thing that I found with this was the stock pipe from the XLT, as this thing made that engine run so hot. I don't care how fat I tuned that, I could not get that thing to run cool. And this pipe, the paint I put on it is rated for 500 degrees. I mean, I don't know if I had an exhaust leak. I had everything sealed up good. I mean, I've never had an engine run that hot before. And I mean, you see how big the truck is. The 45 should be plenty. And plus, typical ROVAN pipe, it's not port matched or anything. But I'll be right back. Take 5. It's my newest Amazon find. $28. I couldn't beat it. My other helmet is an auto darkening. This is even auto darkening for $28. Pretty cool, right? I thought so. Your favorite pipe for the ROVAN? Yeah, I like it too. And that 30.5 that I built, it made that thing run like an animal. Something I know nothing about. You know what? I took a whole semester of welding when I was in college. I went to a trade college, and I loved it. It's just I didn't have the time or patience to go in and follow that as a career path. The Dominator pipe, I like the Dominator pipe for the small bores, like the 29 and lower, that Dominator pipe. If you get the DDM Dominator pipe, you got to get the cage, the body lift. So this is the DDM Dominator. And you can see I melted it on my cage because the DDM pipe sits a little bit higher than the stock ROVAN pipe. And honestly, this isn't a bad pipe either. But this Dominator pipe has a smaller stinger, and I like that for the smaller bore engines. Foundry saw my Bills sign. Go Bills, go Buffalo. You'll never break that thing, yeah. This is the DDM pipe. It broke on the first run. It snapped the brace. Now I don't like running the export, and I think that's a lot of my issue is because I just bend and tweak these bottom mounts until they fit on the vehicle. So that could be part of my issue. Yes. I don't want to be rude, but I had to check my phone. My buddy Fifth Scale Ripper is playing around with his 3D printer. Yes, Jersey Jason. Yeah, I did buy that pipe. I bought it through DDM. It was a blem, but I don't know if the blem was from the mounting on the pipe. It was like $89. It was a deal of the day the one day. That's a version 1. Sorry if I butcher your name, Takahouchi. That's a version 1 of the DDM pipe. The version 2, I believe, is a 2-piece with a slip joint on it. My twin sometimes gets up to 275 on the right-hand cylinder, and that's as hot as I like to go. Yeah, I don't like going over 300s like my max. That's what I like to run my stuff at. Obviously, that 45 got hotter than that. I've had it where that 45 got so hot the crank bearings were seized onto the crankshaft, and I had to split the bearing and chisel it and crack it. Oh. So yeah, guys, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. Hey, fifth scale rippers here now. What's up, man? Trying out the new router, seeing how it does for live stream. If it works pretty good, everybody says it's pretty good quality. Then I'll start trying to do it more. There you go. I posted the link to the stream if anybody wants to join me. I've never done this before, so if I screw it up, bear with me. Vance, I opened it up. Tomorrow it's going back in the box and it's getting shipped right to Wade. It's beautiful. The camera doesn't do it justice. Fire it up on the table. I don't want to do that. I don't have the clutch bell on it. End up shooting the spring off. Nah, I don't have the pipe for it. Oh, here we go.
Hey, what's up?
Vance.
Let me turn off this. Let me turn off this TV because I know YouTube and YouTube don't like play well to each other. So what's going on, brother?
Not much. We unboxed the 71.
Yeah, well, I was knee deep in a disaster again.
Yep.
Yeah. It's going to take me a while to get this down just like it did the other one. Totally different learning curve on this carbon fiber, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It was printing too hot. Then it was printing too cold. Then it didn't want a 0.02 layer. It wanted a 0.04 layer. I mean, anybody who thinks that this 3D printing stuff is just like, you just plug it in, put it in your computer. It's all good. I got news for them. You better be half a computer. You better be half a computer genius to figure it out.
Right. Yeah, Foundry. I'm using the AirPods as my microphone. It was kind of weird at first before Vance joined. I didn't have anything coming back to me. I thought I was talking to myself. And let's see. The V2 Dominator touches my Baja 5B rear shocks. Haven't had any problems, but some discoloration of the shock spring and getting the shock hot. Yeah, I don't know if I like that about the shock getting hot. That's only a plastic piston in there. You're worried about the shock body getting hot and melting the piston inside the shock. But if you haven't had any issues, go for it, man. Look at it, Vance.
Oh, that thing is just massive.
Look at the case. Look how nice that case is.
Yeah, I know. I would have already been at it with the mother's polish and the Dremel, polishing it up. That thing would shine so bad that it would hurt your eyes.
Yeah, we'll let Wade work his magic on it first before I pretty it up too much.
Yeah, well, he's already waiting for it. I told him, I said, well, you might have to wait a couple, 2-3 days because Wade wants to leave it on the bench and just kind of look at it and kind of drool all over it.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'm in here twice. You got me in here twice.
What?
Yeah. I got a screen up here and one down here.
Oh, that's because you're in the I don't know how to work that.
No, that's all right. Don't worry about it. You know, seriously. So what was Foundry talking about? The shocks and
No,
springs?
it was Takahuchi. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, bro.
What's he want to know about them?
He said his V2 Dominator pipe touches the shock body on his rear
Oh, that's no
shocks.
good. Yeah, that's no good. You'll cook the fluid inside of it, and you'll end up, like you said, melting that plastic retainer that's in there.
That's what I thought. But he says he has no issues with it. I wouldn't. I mean, go until it blows. That's kind of how I go with some of this stuff.
Well, it's hey, if it works for you, then do it.
Right.
It would never work for me. It'd last about maybe 3-4 minutes, and the next thing I know, it'd be just shock laying down. Although those IRC 77-pound compression springs, I don't even know if I need a shock with them. Those things are just massive.
It'll be like a lowrider all spring.
Yeah. Well, maybe I could get that 45 to do a wheelie then.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Nitro Freak?
What up?
Hey, what's going on, Frank?
Same old shit. What's up, Joe?
Now I wish I had something to give away.
Hey, man, you won on my channel the other night. You gave the shit away. I was actually trying to get you to keep it.
Yeah, you know what though? I'd feel bad. You know, you have all those guys who have been with you, watching your stuff for so much longer than I have, and
it's all good, man. That's why we do the free giveaways. It don't matter
right.
how long who's been in there. If you win, man.
But you see how my nitros are, you know.
Yeah.
They just sit here nowadays.
Well, I mean, it's good you gave it to Chef Beardsley. I know he'll definitely use it. That's just the one thing I was trying to prevent is somebody to get it that had no means of doing anything with it. That's kind of why I told the electric guys, if you didn't want to win the engine, put yourself in for the banner, but don't put yourself in for the engine. Because, you know, I know what a lot of people do. They'll just turn around and probably sell it, make a profit off it. I'd rather it go to somebody that was going to use it. So I do commend you for giving it up and giving it to Chef Beardsley, man. I appreciate that.
No worries, man.
You know he'll get good use out of it.
Yeah, he'll have that at the pit in no time. Yeah. Hey, Chef, what's up, man?
Speak of the devil, he was live today. It was seeing him. Good that he took his 8XT, took that electronic stuff out of it, and put it back nitro.
I wish I would have. I was at I had work, you know, at work today, and I had all my testing, my yearly testing, so I didn't get to watch anything. Usually, I can catch something on my lunch break, but
yeah, I sat here all day waiting for boxes to come in the mail. I got a bunch of unboxings to do, a bunch of shit from Detroit Performance, DDM. Hot Rod sent me another donation to the channel and stuff, so I was actually going to do a live tonight, and I was like, yeah, I'm just kind of burnt out on all the YouTube stuff. Probably do one tomorrow.
Yep. Your 5T's looking nice, so
it's almost done. I got some new servos in the mail for it. I'm taking those stock Spectrum freaking RTR servos out of it and putting some new servos in it.
Have you tried your Send It servo for the throttle on that yet, or no?
You can't use the Send It servo on the throttle because on the 5T it takes the two big ones. Now on a Baja uses a regular Ace scale one for the throttle.
Right.
Which
I guess I never thought about.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to take the Max T, and hell, I've got 1, 2, 3. I got 4 Send It servos. I'm getting ready to take one of them and put it in that because he discontinued his 458s and he's coming out with what's called a 490, which is even way better than what his 458s were. A lot of guys been using them on the fish scales. You know, there was always a lot of naysayers out there saying, "Oh, they won't hold up in a fish scale." It's like, bull fucking shit. I know about 4 guys that have been using his servos in fish scales for over a year now without fail.
Well, you're only working the throttle and the brake.
Yeah, it's throttle and brake. And if you look at what comes on a Baja anyways, they're already the size of a regular A-scale servo. They're not the big, huge ones like that or what are on the steering. So you can pretty much you can use whatever you want as long as it's got the torque capacity for your brake. Pulling the throttle is nothing. There's really no resistance on that whatsoever. It would be the brake side that I would be worried about, and to do that, you just want to have a nice high torquey servo. And even them 458s, them things had monster torque for a throttle servo. I use both the 458s on all my A scales. I use the 458s throttle and steering. Now he also has the 626, which is even more powerful than the 458 because, and a lot of guys will use the 626, which is his Platinum series, which looks like that. That's the 626. And then you got the regular 458. And a lot of guys will buy the 626 right here and use that as their throttle and brake servo on the Bajas.
Yeah. I mean, and the throttle brake servo that comes on these things they're cheap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, Blue Groove, what's up, man?
And most anything that's an RTR, that's just common sense. They're not going to put a whole lot of ingenuity into it. They're not going to put the best, money can buy servos in them. That's what makes them, cheap and affordable to buy. You definitely aren't going to buy an RTR and find them have, High-Techs or Savox or something like that. It's just like with the Losi stuff. Anything Losi RTR, their platforms, being an RTR, are really, really good, but they skimp out on the electronics as far as the servos. They'll put the bare minimum, that they can. Most everybody I think that's ever had a Losi RTR, I'm a Losi lover. I'm not talking crap about Losi by any means, but their RTR stuff, their servos, you'd be lucky if you get 5-6 months out of them before they crap out on you.
Right. When I first built my EXB, I put a stock Creighton servo in it. I got from Jenny's RC for pennies, and it lasted one run, and it started on fire. It started smoking and melting. I'm like, yep. So I actually put
a lot of the RTR servos that are out there, like in the fish scales, a lot of guys don't have problems with them. I love the one that's the stock one that's in the Baja Max T that I got. I haven't had any issues out of that. But Losi's RTR servos, for whatever reason, they are junk. And what's even funnier is you look online and look at the prices of them. They're more expensive than what you can get some of the better quality ones for. It's like, what the hell?
I had a oh God, sure, you just said it. HIT? Let me think.
The High-Tech?
The High-Tech, yeah. I had a High-Tech when they came out with the first titanium ones. That HT 14, I forget, it's been a long time. But anyways, it was the first titanium gear one, and I came over a triple, landed nose down, and my car went poof and started smoking. the servo was on fire. Oh yeah, it was a beautiful thing. So they all do that. That's for sure.
Now you get what you pay for. That's the way it goes, man. That's
what
I've been. That's exactly what I've been doing with the 5T. Not that it really needed it, but that 5T when I bought it, brand new stock, it's far from stock now. It don't look nothing like what it did in the last video I posted, because since I posted that last video, what was almost 2.5, 3 weeks ago, I've gotten like 6-7 boxes worth of parts since then that I put back on it. I'm getting ready to release another video on it now, and that's pretty much what I did. I took everything plastic and stock off it that I just didn't interest me and went and put all aftermarket stuff on it. Just built it the way I wanted to do it.
Well, that's what's fun about this hobby, and that's that's what I try to tell people. Don't copy other people. Make it your own. Do what you want with it.
Yep.
Because if you follow everybody else, oh my God, you'd have $9,000 in a car because they'd all be like, well, you got to get IRC, you got to get RC Max, and I got to tell you what.
That's not even the half of it. You look at some of the people out there that just go out and buy parts and try to assemble their Bajas, their T's, buggies, what have you, and they don't have any clue of what parts go together that mesh correctly. They think you can just, because it says, you know, Baja this or 5B that or whatever, they go ahead and buy it, and then they got binding issues, and then they're buying stuff over and over and over. Yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing I learned real quick in the fifth scale with talking with a lot of people. You know, you got to watch what you buy. Not all these companies, the parts they make mesh with other stuff. You got to have stuff that goes together. You can go out there and buy, you know, $700-800 worth of shit, but if it doesn't work together, you're going to have nothing but problems, and you're going to keep breaking stuff. You're going to keep tearing it down, repairing it. But
yep, and you got to own a Dremel tool, and you can't be afraid of it.
Oh yeah, I've had to modify a lot of stuff I put on the 5T. I found that out myself. When you go buy stuff through Detroit Performance or DDM, it'll say specifically for the 5T, you go to put it on and it don't work. It'll either be machined just a millimeter or two wrong, too big, too small, or whatever. You'll always have to break out that Dremel. I've had to quite a few times.
Oh, that don't bother me. I break out the Dremel, some carbide tips, and get to work.
I think that's the fun part. Taking stuff shit that don't fit, fucking make it work. You know, that's part of the hobby.
That's like I'm doing this. I'm learning this 3D printing stuff, and because what I'm going to make are the A arms for the TS, so that I can have carbon fiber A-arms.
Before I jumped in the live, I heard you talking about you doing that 3D printing. I'll tell you now, man, that 3D printing shit, you got to be precise on it. I'm sure you've probably already gone through the headache of all you got to have all the parameters set right and all that, man, because I tell you, if you don't, it'll print out some funky shit.
I don't know how good it'll show up, but have you ever seen a 3-piece plastic gearbox?
Not a plastic gearbox 3-piece. I've seen the ones that RC Max makes and some of the other companies.
All right. So here is
how thick are you making them?
So there's a 3-piece. I just got this is just the prototype of it, and it's got all of the bearings and everything else it needs. This is just a prototype. This is like 5, even though it's a prototype, it's 5 times stronger than ROVAN's plastic.
Nice.
Right? So what I'm making them out of, what I'm working on right now is carbon fiber poly.
Where did you end up getting the printing program for that? Who did you snag that from?
From me. This 3-piece, I can't take credit for the 3-piece.
That's what I'm asking. I know most guys that do 3D printing, you can get the program. There's a lot of people out there that got the programs for all the parts for like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
How are you making yours though? You don't have a scanning system where you're scanning a stock one, are you?
Not yet. Let me say this. Not yet. That's next on the list.
So you must have gotten the program from somebody.
Yes. What you do is you go and you can get what's called the slicer, right?
Yeah.
That talks to the 3D printer. You go to any I like the CAD design website because those guys are engineers. So whatever they put up, I mean, their tolerances are like 0.001.
That's what I was asking. You can go
Yeah.
online. What a lot of guys will do, they'll go online and
Right.
download them files onto a memory stick. Then
Yep.
you can take that memory stick, put it right into your 3D printer,
Yep.
make little changes and all that stuff, and boom, it starts printing. How many hours did it take your machine to print that prototype right there?
It's about 12 hours.
That's what I thought. So you must be using one of like the $300-400 machines.
I'm using Wade's. Wade bought a 3D printer a couple of years ago, and he built it, and it sat on the table. And he said, "Hey, you're pretty smart on this computer stuff." I said, "Well, I did work. That was my job for like 13 years. So yeah, I can get around a computer pretty good." And so he brought it over, and I just started messing with it, and I ruined a lot of filament. You will at first. because it's although you can go get the 3D file, you have to set all the print parameters yourself. Yeah. How much it's extruding, how much it's so there's a lot to that, and that's been the biggest learning curve. But I've got this one material down good. But now with the carbon fiber, that likes a much higher heat. So I'm printing at about 240 degrees Celsius, which is 464 degrees. So now I
got a buddy of mine who does a lot of that 3D printing, and he's actually come across a lot of the files for the 5T and the 5Bs, and he wants to start doing the same thing, making like carbon fiber, 3D printed carbon fiber, parts for them and stuff like that. And I talk with him a lot, and that's what he was saying. He's like, once you first use it, if you've never used a 3D printer, your first couple items when they're going to come out, going to be all cattywampus, looking like freaking aliens and all that stuff. And and you will waste a lot of the material, but that's where you got to get all the parameters set.
I'm on print number 5 for this rear engine mount. Let me see if I can get it up.
Do you know what model 3D printer you're using?
Yes, I'm using an Ender 3.
The Ender 3.
Yep, and I am ordering. Tomorrow I'm gonna order the Ender 5.
Yeah, that one's a much better one.
That's 300 millimeter print surface.
Yeah.
So I'd have no problem fitting Max T A-arms, whatever I want. That's my end goal. My end goal is
the only thing that sucks about 3D printing, the bigger the item that you print, the longer it takes. Because I know a buddy of mine, he used to print out the 8th scale, like 8th scale buggy and truggy stands.
Right.
And on the machine he was using just to do a stand or like a tool bin would take almost 24 hours to make one of them things. But I mean, they came out damn near perfect. You had a nice machine, but the bigger the item, the longer it takes is the only thing that sucks. You got to dedicate a lot of time to doing the 3D.
Well, I've got this rear engine, this one here. Damn phone. I've got this one. It bolted right up to my 5B. And
now, with the materials you're using, can you do it in different colors or?
I could. And this stuff, I'm telling you what, you can't. Once this is made in carbon fiber, it won't break. It won't.
That's the big thing is the strength quality of them, because they're like when you print A-arms and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of guys try to get by with using like the cheapest plastic to print them out.
No.
Long.
A-arms are going to have to be made out of, it's called CX. And what it is it's like 35% carbon fiber, and the rest of it is made out of nylon.
Yeah.
So between the two of them, you got the carbon fiber for your strength, but you got the nylon so that in a crash, it's just not going to snap like pure carbon fiber just snap. Printed, it would just snap.
Yeah.
So with the nylon, it'll have just a little bit of give to it, because that's what's in the A-arms of the ROVAN and stuff. That's nylon.
The nylon, it's interwoven into it.
Right.
Is what it does.
Right. But when you add carbon fiber to it, you just added the tensile strength like 30 times over.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I can think of to make up for the for that platform, and get away from the billet, get to lighten that car, lighten it up.
Yeah.
Because that you lift yours all the time. That's 52, 53 pounds of anger right there.
Well, I mean, a lot of people, they like all the turtle racing aluminum parts and all that stuff, and that stuff's it's nice. It can be durable, but it's heavy. It's a lot of weight. If you can design some plastic A-arms that are, really, really strong, in my eyes, would be the way to go. They would also be cheaper, just as strong. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with like all the aluminum A-arms and all that stuff, but with everybody,
I'm going carbon fiber.
Yeah, with everybody wanting to run modded motors and all that stuff, you want to lay all that power down to the wheels, and you're kind of defeating the purpose. When I see a lot of guys, they take these platforms and they got to have every single aluminum part on them that a company makes. It's like you just now took a freaking 35-pound machine and turned it into a 45-pound machine, And
well, I'll tell you what. If you like I'm going carbon fiber, rear chassis, carbon fiber, pretty much everything other than the main chassis. And TIT makes the whole carbon fiber kit for the TS and the 5Bs, $140.
Yeah, I've been looking at a lot of the carbon fiber stuff from my Baja. And like I said, I got a buddy of mine who does that 3D printing, and he's been talking about trying to do that stuff what you're doing. What I would be curious to see is, with the regular carbon fiber stamped parts, how do they compare up to like the stuff you would be making? How strong, comparison wise, would it be? That's what I'd be interested to see.
The regular carbon fiber would be stronger. It would. Yeah. But it wouldn't be, how do I want to say it? It wouldn't be as durable. A long time durable. It's going to be stronger. Okay. But after and I know, after you take your car apart a couple hundred times,
screws in and out of the carbon fiber, that would be my biggest thing right there.
Exactly.
I can tell you from experience on a lot of my A-scale race kits, I used to run a lot of carbon fiber stuff on them. I won't even run carbon fiber no more. For one, I found carbon fiber, depending on the type of hit that it takes, even though the stuff is strong, carbon fiber can snap pretty quick and pretty easy too. It all depends on the type of hit it takes, but carbon fiber is also not made to be taken on, put on, taken off, put on, taken off.
That's why I figured infused with nylon. Now you're getting the best of both worlds, because not only are you getting that strength, but you're also getting flexibility. Because let's face it, as you're crashing and stuff, if you got 100%, that's why my TS has plastic billet. You gotta have a breaking point in there, because if you don't, yeah, you end up hitting a monkey bar, and that's that's what happens when you hit a monkey bar.
Yeah, all I did was pull a screw out. I could probably reuse this. Vance, Blue Groove Model Sports, he said the carbon fiber print is still a nylon. It does not bound well to a carbon fiber, the strands. Plus, it's strands of carbon fiber. The point of the carbon fiber is a continuous strand throughout the part for strength.
Yeah, and that's that's exactly what I was wondering myself, because an actual carbon fiber part and then doing like what fifth scale ripper is, it's not going to really be intertwined. But I get what fifth scale ripper is doing. Fifth scale, I'm not saying nothing against what you're doing.
Well, actually, it is not a continuous, right? It's more like when you add the filament and the nylon together with that amount of carbon fiber, it's almost like a fiberglass. You know what I mean? A fiberglass is very strong, and it's not one continuous thing. You know? So, oh Jesus! and they do make a nylon infused with glass, so that's like fiberglass.
Yeah.
You know,
what you're doing though is a good thing, man. You don't really see anyone else out there doing it. Actually, you're the first person I've heard that's tried it. I know my buddy wants to start trying it, but he's been waiting to see if anybody else out there does it, because he's a 3D printing master. That dude can make anything on a 3D printer. He's got them figured out, all the right plastics to use and what are the most durable. And that's the only thing he said that he hasn't done yet, is messing with whatever that carbon fiber stuff that you guys are doing. Because I was talking with him about it no more than 2 hours ago, because he wants to use me kind of like a test guy to take some parts off the Baja and let him see them, and then he wants to try to do some parts for that, making them himself. And I'm like, you can do whatever you want to do, dude. I don't give a crap. I said, I'd be curious to see how strong they're going to be.
Hey, if I can make a 3-piece gearbox and have it under $20 in it, in actual material.
What does a roll of the printing stuff cost for like the
plastic? Right now I'm using PLA carbon fiber, and it was $40 for a 1 pound roll.
For a 1 pound roll?
1 pound roll. For the CX carbon, the best one, that goes all the way up to $90 for a 2 pound roll.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's cheap. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But
yeah, that stuff can get expensive, and it uses up a lot of it when you print a part too. That's the thing.
Well, I'm learning right now. I'm on part number 5 of the rear engine mount, and so far I figured I burned up about $6.
$6, that's not bad.
No.
Tell them how many meters that 3-piece tranny took.
It took 15 meters of filament.
Yeah, that's a lot.
The thing is, though, if you can make those parts, like the arms and stuff you're talking about, actually work, it'd be impressive, because I've seen a lot of people try stuff like that, and inevitably they broke. That's why a lot of people, it hasn't been perfected to the sense that like it's too bash friendly or holds up too well, just because how the 3D printers work, print in layers instead of like one solid piece. So it'd be cool if you can actually pull that off. But I don't think it's going to be easy for sure.
That's what I was
No,
telling the Steel Ripper when we very first started
it
talking
won't be
about it.
because what you have to do is the way that they're designed, right? With the big, large openings in the A-arms themselves, what you would have to do is you would have to go in there and build cross supports. And when you
I'm not laughing at you, man. I'm laughing at KGM and keep speaking
yeah,
into the camera.
me too. So the thing is I have a friend of mine who owns a CNC shop. And I talked to him earlier today, and he said, hey, you bring me the A-arms, and we will put them through the CAD program. I'll 3D image them, and we'll find out where any of the stress parts would be.
Yeah, that's why I was asking you if you had to scan them yet.
He has a multi-million-dollar business, so that's what he does is build tool. He's a tool and die maker, and that's what he does is build parts.
Yeah, that's what my buddy does. He's got like this little machine that he takes an existing part, puts it in it, and it does a laser. It's weird. It goes all around, upside down on all the sides, and it basically makes a printed image on the screen. It scans the whole part inside out, top to bottom, and you can use it to see where you can improve on the existing part from there from what you're going to 3D print. But I mean,
that's it.
Not cheap to do
because the geometry of those A-arms were made for billet. They weren't made for nylon plastic. So maybe it works, maybe it don't. But I've got let's see. I've got the next Kyle and I got the next 6 months to live in the snow. So I got a lot of time on my hands.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like it's worth the shot for sure. But
I definitely
you can make a 3D scanner at home too. It won't obviously be as good as your buddy that has multi-million-dollar shop, but if you get an old Xbox 360 Connect camera and you can get a program on your computer, you can actually use it as a 3D scanner. So you can scan parts and it'll put it right in the camera.
See, I was more interested in building like the gearboxes, right? Because that's easy. I can make those all day long, and everything bolts right up to it. I mean, look, it bolts everything. A 3-piece, and you can build it. And I'm telling you right now, listen to this. That's a lot stronger than anything ROVAN puts out. I'm going to tell you that right now. So that's what I was more interested in building.
Yeah.
That's a good hobby to get into. You start messing around with that 3D print and you start making your own parts. You got the platforms to test it and all that. If you find a part that you 3D print, holds up like freaking no other, you can start making money off that stuff, man. You can start selling it because you can still sell them parts that you make if they're good enough, to hold up.
Well, that's the thing.
Want to buy weak parts.
You got to test the crap out of it.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying.
You got to send them to like KGM, Nitro Freak. You
got
to
send guys to test it. You'll get guys that'll buy it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I got a pretty nasty little 45 myself. Soon to be a 52. We're gonna have 271s in the stable, a 48 in the stable, and a few skull pods. So I think we can find something that's capable of breaking a lot of parts.
Yeah. Wade's actually about to get three of my buddies' engines here pretty soon.
Yeah, he got them in the mail today.
Oh, did he get them today?
Yep.
He should have got 271s, and I forgot what the other one was.
45.
271s.
Yeah, 45. Yeah, 271s and a 45. Actually, one of the 71s is for Wade to keep himself. He's giving it to him. in return for modifications on the other engine.
Kid
Well-
Jim, what did you unbox, dude?
My
Oh,
71, man.
Yes, I see you showing it, and I wasn't here when you unboxed it. So
Yeah, it's quite the specimen here, man.
it looks
Look at that.
beautiful.
Look at that case.
Damn, dude. It looks
take a look
beautiful.
at take a look at that top end now, because it won't look like that in a couple of weeks.
No,
It's sick, dude.
honestly,
So-
my first opinion of it, I'd throw it right in, and I almost wanted to do a comparison of it between the after Wade gets done with it. But the problem is Wade said that the last one that he did, the engine had so much crap in it that it
Yeah.
almost looks like a used engine. So,
Yep.
I'll wait for him to tear it down and do his stuff with it.
Yeah, I got you.
I
Those
think that was,
71s you guys are getting off the ROVAN site.
Yeah. So I thought
Take
it was
it
going to
easy,
be a little bit. Yeah. See you later, Dimitri. I thought it was going to be cheaper if I got it off of eBay, but by the time I put this in my cart on Rovan and put the 5% off discount on it, it was actually the same price. So they just kind of mark the stuff on eBay so that it, you think you're getting it for cheaper, but you don't get your.
I think what is ROVAN selling for? Like they're like $569. I think they are.
This came to my house for $600
Okay.
shipped.
It's pretty
Um,
legit.
That's probably with shipping and everything, right?
That's with shipping, tax. I mean, if you live in a state where they don't have sales tax, I don't think you have to pay it. Don't quote me on that, but
Well, it was actually kind of funny because for my buddy to send the three engines to Wade, he had to pay New York State sales taxes when he had to ship them there. They charged him
really,
tax. Yeah, because he's out of Michigan. Well, you know who it is. It's Hot Rod 67.
yeah.
Yeah, so Hot Rod went and bought 271s in a 45. Well, he bought the 45 that comes out of the MTXL, I guess. So he sent him the MTXL engine, and then he went through Rovan, and he said through Rovan he paid, I think it was like $569 a piece for the 71s, and then after shipping costs and whatever, I don't know, whatever New York State tax was on them to ship them over there.
96%.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, he said they charged him friggin' tax. So I was like, what?
It's only like $12 for me to ship an engine to Wade. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
but you're
I
right.
think it.
But you're right there in you're not too far from Wade though, right? You guys are
Yeah.
like same vicinity, a couple hours away.
3 hours away.
Yeah.
It was only I think it was only $13.60 something to ship, or $16.50 or something like that to ship that engine to Chef.
Yeah,
So-
it wasn't much. You sent me the receipt. It was like $16, I think.
Yep. So when it gets expensive is shipping the whole truck and everything. That's where the price
Yeah,
gets
dude.
up.
Oh yeah.
I shipped a Fisco Outcast to Italy for Sergeant J. It was just lucky that it was going to a military base, so it was cheaper, but it was still up there. Obviously, he paid the shipping, but it's just nuts, man. Because the
Right.
Fisco stuff, it's huge. So,
And he couldn't
the
even
lady
get
looked
that
at the-
shipped from the website, right?
yeah, they want to ship it to him, but the lady was like reading the thing. You know how you fill it out and say what's in the box and stuff. She goes, "There's only one RC car in here." I was like, "Yep, it's just one car. That's all that's in there." She's like, "How big is this thing?" I was like, so I had to explain Fisco to her. But yeah,
See, it's big.
yeah, it's a big one.
Well, I'm Chef Beardsley on YouTube. If you like and subscribe, you can see
Yeah,
all about
exactly. I do
it.
all the time. I actually just traded a truck for a truck, and the guy was talking to me, and he's like, "Oh, do you do bashing?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm like I hardcore bash, man." I was like, "Hey, check out some of my videos." He's, "Oh, you do YouTube?" I got a sub right there, you know.
There you go.
Yes, for sure, man.
What's going on?
Good way to network. Get you some subs. Talk to your local post office. They probably see all that. They see all that. They see all that stuff come through. Chef Beard's like, yeah, my local postmaster subs to me on my YouTube.
Yeah. If someone shows interest in the hobby, even if they're not into it, I'm all about like, hey, I got videos and stuff. If you're interested in getting into the hobby, check it out, man. You could actually see what these things are capable of, you know.
Yeah.
I got old people that come to a bash spot I go to, right? It's a big park. They bring their lawn chairs and sit there, and I'm like, well, you know, they're really loud. And the old guy said it the best. It don't sound loud to me because I can't hear shit.
I got a family that does that every Sunday that I go out to the golf course. Whenever I rip the Baja or the 5T, there's this old man. This old man comes out there with some lawn chairs. This guy's probably got to be about 80 years old. He comes out there. He brings his 3 grandkids, and his wife comes out there, and they'll sit out there forever, just watch me run them the 2 strokes all through the field and stuff. And then when I'm done, he'll usually come over, and he's amazed by it. He's like, "Is that like an RC car?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it is." He's like, "Man, we never had nothing like that back in my days." He's like, "Where can I get one of them?" Like he was wanting to get one of the Bajas for his grandson who was about like 10 years old. And I'm like, yeah, this is not something you want to put in the hands of a 10-year-old. I'll tell you that.
Not only that, but the other question is, how much does one of them cost?
Yeah, well, that was one
And
thing
I
he
said-
asked
Depends what you
me.
wanna
Yeah,
spend.
I told him, I said, the Baja Max T is about $1,400. His jaw dropped. He's like, yeah.
So you buy it for $1,400, and then you get it home, and before you even run it, it costs you another $600.
What you guys
You don't ever leave them completely the way you buy them. First thing, you either got to do a kill switch, you're going to do a pipe, you know, you're always going to do something to it. I have yet to see anybody that I personally know that buys a fifth scale and just runs it forever the way it is out of the box.
Yeah.
Usually
I'm buying a
nobody's
new.
going to do that because the first thing you got to buy is a kill switch, or at least that should be the first thing you buy. I'm still amazed by the amount of people I see that run them that don't run kill switch.
Well, anything's a kill switch if you hit it hard enough.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, I watched a video the other day. I can't remember the name of the guy. You guys have probably seen it. The video's it's probably about 2-3 years old. This guy goes into a sand pit and he's got one of the older 1.05Ts. It's an all-white body, heavier set guy. Well, he's out there just doing like speed runs up and down a dirt road, then off to the side of the road. It looks like he's in a rock quarry because there's some big, rock mounds and all this. So he starts hitting these rock mounds, and he hit it about 2 or 3 times, and it would land, and would land all right. He went to do it a 4th time. He come up off the backside, jumped it. The damn 5T just like shot through the air, but when it landed, it just like ran away. Like he's like, I'm trying to turn it, I'm trying to shut it down. It wouldn't do nothing. Literally in that video for 5 to 10 minutes, him, his buddy, and I think his wife are running around the rock quarry trying to chase it because it's stuck at full throttle. But as it's going, it's hitting big dips and jumps, so it keeps turning the wheels. It'll turn left and go off to the left side of the rock quarry, hit another ditch. It'll turn the wheels right, then it'll shoot right. Finally, on the back side of the rock quarry, had a bunch of fence posts and had that green netting that they use to separate fields and stuff. And finally, it just shot into the green netting and got stuck at wide open throttle. And you see him running over, going to rip off the body, hit the kill button on the engine to shut it down. But I was sitting there laughing my ass off. I'm like, that shit right there is why you don't fucking run one of them without a damn fucking kill switch.
Absolutely.
If you'd have been at a public park, if you'd have been at a public park or a neighborhood and it did that, you're either killing somebody's brand new Lexus sitting in their driveway, somebody's house, run over somebody's kid playing in the front yard, or if you're at a public park, you're gonna nail somebody's dog, kids.
Well, if you hit the Lexus in the neighborhood, you just throw that thing in your truck and take off.
You better just load it up and run.
Well, Wade's fail-safe failed. Now, you ain't lived until you had that that frickin' twin roll by you at about 60 miles an hour, about 3 foot away from you.
Hey, I watched that one video that you did where you had that runaway where you were bringing it from the outside of the field back to you, where it shoots by you, comes up that hill, and you just, I mean, you could hear it in the background. Whee! Just let me
That was Wade's twin, man.
Was that what that was? Yeah, I remember watching that video.
His kill switch actually, when he came over that one little spot, the kill switch just didn't work because there was one there. It didn't work. So he bought one of the new Heltronic Achilles.
Yeah.
And it's got the thermostat. It's got the. I'm gonna get one of those. I have one of the Heltronics, the micros right now, and I love it. I've gone through like 3 of them dynamites. They're just crap.
Yeah, see, I've got the whole complete Killer Bee system with
I use Killer
alarm and the LEDs and all that in the Baja. But now I have the dynamite kill switch in the 5T, but I'm getting ready to take that out and I'm going to put one of the MODs in it.
Yeah, well,
honestly, I swear by the ROVAN rings.
Well, see, the only reason I put the dynamite one in that is because the kill switch was one of the very first things that I bought for that naturally. But at that time when I went to buy it, MOD's kill switch wasn't even out in production yet, and the Killer Bees were all out of stock on DDM. And I didn't completely think about going actually to the Killer Bee site themselves until Hot Rod had mentioned it. But by then, when I couldn't get nothing for it, the dynamite was the only thing available. So I was like, hey, even though it might fail, it's like a $37 kill switch. It's better to have that than have nothing at all in my eyes.
Oh, absolutely.
But then again, you know, when I can go ahead and, you know, I've already got the other one on order. When it gets here, then it will be swapped out, and I'll just put that dynamite in a drawer or whatever.
To me, going running my fifth scale without a kill switch is like going fishing without my Garmin's SC7 with the side views.
Right.
I won't go fishing without my depth finder. So, but
what are you working on?
This is actually just some Target toy that my buddy got my son for his birthday a couple months ago, and he's only 3, or actually he's 4 now, and he's been running into the curbs and crap, and he busted. There's no screws on it. There's just these little plastic clips that everything clips onto. He busted the one off, so I was fixing it for him because he wanted to play with it the other day.
Okay.
Take it easy, Big John D. We'll see you later, brother.
See you later, Big John. Thanks for stopping by.
See you, John.
I see a lot of people coming in and bouncing out. Big John D, he's taking off. Hot Rod, I see you popped in. What's going on?
Hot Rod, what's up, buddy?
I see your internet connection is good now, KJM.
Yeah, man, I got that. What I did is I ran Ethernet. So I bought that welder, and my house is like 121 years old. So the wiring, there's a patch of wiring about, I don't know, this long from the panel box to the junction box where everything from the garage goes to. And when I bought that welder, I didn't want to burn my house down. So I ran a designated 20 amp circuit in my driveway in front of my garage so that I could run that welder. And when I did that, I dropped a leg off the conduit so that I could run Ethernet out here. And I actually have a router. I just put a router up in the corner there because I have an Apple laptop that doesn't have any Ethernet ports on it. So I'm actually running I have a modem router in the house, and then I have a router out here now.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet.
Yes, sir.
That's where Kyle is going to be if that UPS man keeps bringing those large boxes to his front door.
This is a little one.
What'd you tell her was in that box?
I don't know if she saw it unless she watches the Ring doorbell. I don't think she's going to see it.
Oh, I see.
But you know, it's all in good fun. She understands.
Yep. Yep.
She has her hobbies, I have mine. So
Yeah, it
Yeah.
could be worse, man. Could be spent on stupid stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
could be like I always say, I could be sitting in a bar someplace drinking and hoeing,
right. I did a lot of
Or
that when
I-
I worked second shift.
or
Yeah, I
I
was about to
could
say, I used to do that.
or I could be sitting here in my own living room. You decide.
Right.
Not just sit in my shed and do the same thing, just with toys now.
Yeah, I'm a 30-year-old man who plays with toys. It's great.
Yeah. Not wrong with
Well, boys never grow up. Our toys just get more expensive.
Right. More expensive and they get bigger.
That's true.
Yes.
That's
And sometimes they're a pain in the ass.
true. Jeff, when you running your fish scale again?
it. Probably
Yeah.
this week. I have meat cutting competition on Monday, and then I'm normally off Tuesday, but I think I'll have to work since the competition's on
Gus.
Monday.
Yeah.
So probably Thursday, I'm gonna get the KGM engine back out, because if you guys watch the video, it's short because that pull star kept getting gunked up. Like as soon as it touched the ground, those fins were stuck. So they're all covered up now with a Scotch Brite over the hole, so air can still get in, but not the dirt. So it should be ready
Yep.
to go. Because it was actually, I got another couple jumps, but the camera angle was bad. It was flying pretty good, so I'm gonna give it some more next time I'm there. So we're gonna really send it.
What are you running the export spacer in that exhaust? That little piece that goes in between the exhaust and the header flange? You're not running that, are you?
No.
All right. Because I've noticed if you run those with the gaskets, it that's what causes those exhaust to get loose. It lets it vibrate in between the flange there.
Yeah. No, I don't have that on there. I did tighten it back up when I got home. I put some red Loctite on it and snugged her up again. I just got to keep an eye on it, because if you guys notice, like when I did that pan shot, you guys know, you guys run two-stroke, you can see that thing vibrating.
Are you running the studs on your exhaust, with exhaust studs with the nuts on them?
No, it's the exhaust just came with regular screws.
Bolts that go all the way through?
Yeah.
So I've never had an issue since I started doing this. I go straight high temp silicone, and then I crank these down as far as I can. The silicone acts as a Loctite when you torque it down, and this makes the best seal in the world.
Yeah, I think I actually might have a small leak. I'm gonna do that. I have high temp gasket maker or sealer or whatever
Right.
you want to call it.
But
So-
you can't use the gaskets with it too, because the gaskets, I feel like the gaskets on these small engines with the vibrations from the motor, the gaskets act as a spot for that stuff to move together, and
Yeah.
that's what causes it to get loose. So like I said, I've never had any of these come loose by just doing it like that and just cranking it down.
I'm gonna do that, because I have the high temp out there. So I'll put it on there and then put it back on, because
Right.
obviously I can't have that exhaust falling off all the time.
No, like I said, I was telling everybody earlier, if you take this, Jeff, you can turn this upside down and it'll fit.
I can't. The way that cage is, the way the back bumper is with that cage, I tried to mount it upside down. It wouldn't let me.
See, I run the copper crush gaskets. I don't ever have problems with my exhaust coming loose. But then again,
Well,
I use the studs with the lock nuts on them, and I red Loctite them. And then what I do is I double nut mine on the studs with Loctite. Never had an issue.
It won't work on my cage either, Chef.
Well, that's why I
Yeah.
was wondering what you guys were using.
So those copper crush gaskets are nice because the copper's malleable enough where it holds the memory of that
Yeah.
pipe.
Yeah.
Not, the paper gaskets, the paper wears out in them.
Yeah, them paper gaskets are junk. I don't know why anybody would use them. I'd use the RTV over the paper gaskets any day.
And what I'm gonna do is for the next run, I'm actually gonna take the paddles off and go back to the ROVAN rear tires, because I was noticing when I was coming up to the hills, it would go straight fine, but as soon as I would hit the hills, it would dig in more, so I would lose some momentum. So I'm actually gonna swap over to the other tires because they won't dig as much. So I think I'll be able to hit them a little faster now.
Yep.
Man,
Yeah.
if I had that sand pit near my house, I'd have a tent set up. I wouldn't come home until I ran out of fuel.
Well, we
Or
plan on
cool.
bringing Addicted's my buddy Addicted to RC. He has a camper, like one of those really nice campers, and we were thinking about doing that one day. Just bring the camper
Yeah.
and just stay in there.
Well, if I had that, it'd cost me $150 to $200 a week and just miscellaneous parts.
It cost me that in parts, yeah.
Yeah. Parts
But
are
I
the
tell
expensive.
people, like when
The
we go
one thing
bash,
that
it's really hard on our trucks because we don't have landings really. If you watch my videos, we're hucking stuff to flat. Like we're just coming down flat. You know what I mean? So it's really hard on trucks. And the fact that they do as well as they do is impressive, to say the least. Because they're not coming down on like a grass field. They're coming down on hard dirt on the one side. So it's pretty impressive.
that Kraken got 10mm shocks. Big bore
No, I
shocks.
don't think so. I think it's the stock. I think I have the stock Bajas in the back.
8mm. I was gonna say, because if it did have the 10mm, the IRC heavy duty red shocks are the way to frickin' go.
Yeah.
I don't. If you got 10mm shocks and you're not running them, I don't, because they're 77 pounds compression springs.
Oh, really?
Those things. Oh yeah, and my heavy TS with a 45 in it, I can put my Baja on top of it and it doesn't squat the ass.
See, but I feel that might be a little bit too stiff for me, for the way I'm gonna run it. Because what's the return like? What kind of fluid are you running? Because like I don't want my ass end kicking up when I go to jump it.
I run 50
Yeah.
weight in the rear shocks.
Because that was the
Wait.
issue with my DBXL when I was airing that out. The ass end, I had too much preload. It would kick up and it would tip forward when I would jump it. So
Yeah.
the
I
Kraken
don't.
seems to be like flying kind of flat, and I can go across those ruts and stuff really well. So I really don't want to mess with the suspension right now.
You'll notice
Well,
the tighter your suspension is in the back, the more that front end's going to want to pick up. If you keep that suspension soft, it's going to want to drop and hook. You know, you get that.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Take all the sag out of the ass end. You stiffen up the ass end, you'll be able to pull wheelies easier too.
Yeah, I don't want wheelies. I want to try to keep it planted so I can approach jumps easier and stuff. You know what I mean?
See, yours is kind of hard though, man. With how high you're sending that Kraken through the air, man. You want to have some good shock oil. Probably a little heavier shock oil than normal.
We'll see.
You
I
know,
wouldn't-
the thinner your oil, the faster it moves through the piston holes, so you get a lot more rebound in it. The thicker you can make it, the shock won't move, won't compress so quick.
Mhm.
So it's
I
kind of hard.
couldn't.
It's kind of
I
hard.
couldn't admit.
I know you want
I
to keep
couldn't-
your suspension good and all that, but man, I'm very surprised you have not blown a shock out on that thing. Well, I haven't seen you run the Kraken at that field, but when I was watching you run that, what was it, the DBXL, the K&N thing? Is that what that is, the DBXL?
Yeah, with the stock
Lord,
engine in
man,
it.
sending that thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
actually
even think
I'd
about
thicken up
it.
that oil.
I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine trying to fly that TS. That thing is that'd be like trying to get a Boeing 747 off the ground with no wings. When
Trust
it
me.
lands,
That
Shit,
Baja
it's gonna
Max
break.
8, I've already tried sending mine off a ramp, man. That thing's like a flying brick.
oh,
Don't
Thing.
worry, boys. Chef will show you how it's
Well,
done.
That's a flying brick.
that, I would cringe. My butt cheeks would clench up real tight. My eyes would start to squint, and all I'd be seeing is dollar signs because
Dude,
you
I just
can't
smile the whole time.
you can't buy one A arm for those mechs.
No,
You
if
have
you
to
got
buy
that
the whole
extended
kit.
kit, you got to buy the whole kit for that extended kit.
Three, so
$400
that's
almost.
Yeah, $387 if you bend one of them.
We'll be all right.
And that's one thing I don't get, why they don't sell separates out of them kits. That they
Because
actually
they want you to buy them all.
Well, yeah, I get that. They want you to buy everything, but I think that's kind of stupid. Me personally, I don't want to have to buy a whole $387 kit just because I mess up, one A arm or whatever.
Right.
Did you weld that pipe up yet, Kyle?
No, that's I just took it off at the beginning of the stream because I was showing everybody what happened. It's
How did it
Yeah.
split? Did you wreck or?
oh yeah, that last video, that slow-mo wreck.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's what did it.
Yeah, that's why the truck started running like shit after that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it totally, there's a hole here. So I hope nothing else is wrong with it. I really didn't check it out.
I think it'll be all right.
Yeah. If
Well,
anything,
when
it might
you-
have just loosened up the head a little bit.
When you put that red-headed thing up in there, that pipe that pipe's going to be your wheelie bar. The only problem is it'll wheelie up, it'll stand it up on one tire and corkscrew it about 5 foot in the air.
I'm gonna
That's
chop this
exact-
pipe up before I get to that.
Yeah,
I
when
know
I,
what you're.
when I get my own 45, I'm gonna go with the side mounted pipe, like the one that's on my 30.5, because me personally, I can't have a rear facing exhaust. The way I run my stuff, it just won't work well for me.
You could
So-
turn the head. You could turn the head around.
You gotta get the
Yeah.
Bartolone pipe for your cracking that you got.
Well, that's what I'm gonna do when I get my own 45.
Yeah, that's what I got on the Max T. I like that pipe. I like the way it sounds too.
Oh, well, I have a Bartolone on my DBXL, and
Yeah.
Jersey Jason. I have that DBXL flew all right. I just have too much preload in the back, so it's the 2-stroke. Obviously, it was just the ass end would kick up. I don't know how my spark plug didn't get ripped out of the head that day, but it didn't.
So I had a Bartolone pipe that I was running on my XLT, and for some reason it made that engine overheat.
Really?
Yeah, it made that engine overheat. So who was it? One of the guys that Wade built an engine for actually contacted Bartolone, and he's making what the heck is it? The 40? What is it, Vance? Do you know what it is?
It's the Bartolone 40 pipe.
Yeah, the 40 pipe. He's actually going to make a header for the 45 for that 40 pipe, and send it to that guy. So if that works, we'll have another option for these pipes
Nice.
for the.
Now,
Wait,
is that the
engine.
one we were talking about that one night? You said it keeps overheating on you.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you
That's
run-
actually
Do you run the 50-to-1 mix in all your platforms?
I do. So, but this had. I was a little lean when I was running it, but I wasn't too lean. Actually, I have some pictures.
The reason why I ask, I was going to say, have you ever tried to richen up your fuel mixture? Keep running it the same way you're doing it, but add a little bit more oil to your fuel and see if have you ever tried that to see if your temperature comes down?
When I first started all this with that XLT, I was still running 25-to-1. It's hard to say. I think I was a little lean on the tune. I was still getting used to that HGA 48 that Wade puts on his engines. So that carburetor, I was like 2 1/4 turns out on this engine, on that carburetor. And I don't think I had it rich enough when I was running it with that Bartolone pipe. But
If I was you, seriously, I would try to rerun that pipe and go to a 32-to-1 because that's what I run in all my stuff. I'm not disagreeing with you to say, because I know when we talked about this before, you said you've been running 50-1 a lot, but man, that is really, really dangerous. 50-1, that's, you got to figure 50-1 as to a 1-to-1 mix. That's like no oil in your engines almost. That's how I see it.
Well,
I can't believe that your engines last that long.
I don't know if this is going to show up. This is when I tore down the engine to put Wade's head on. There's a crap load of oil still left in this engine.
The thing with the 45s, okay.
See it on the crank? It's all in how you tune the engine. If you keep them real fat, I really haven't seen any issues with running the 50-1, and it's all in everybody's preference.
Well, you got to look at it this too. Think logically. See, these are air cooled engines, and your sole cooling is just not from the air going over that head. It's also with the amount of oil that you have mixed in your fuel. This is why I was asking you if you ever tried to richen the mixture and see if your temperature ever came down. And it could be just maybe that the way – now, that's a modified engine as well, right?
Yep.
Not a bone stock engine.
No, it's modified.
Okay, and I kind of figured that. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. I would probably – all engines are going to respond different to different mixtures, especially when they're modified and what modifications are done to them. But that would be like an easy fix instead of running around trying to see, okay, well, maybe we need to have a different pipe made for it. If you think that you're having overheating issues from a pipe, the only thing I could see that being from is that pipe being so damn restrictive is that the hot exhaust pulses are not getting out of the head quick enough. But I really don't think that's the issue. I would say try a 32-1. See what it does. It ain't nothing but 5 minutes to mix up some 32-1, throw that pipe back on.
And you're absolutely right. And that 71 Wade's running video, the 71, that was my Barlow pipe on there. So, yeah. I mean, he's running the 71 on it. So
let me throw my stuff in here, okay? I tried 3 different pipes on my redheaded, highly modified 45.
Is that the one that has the changeable domes in it? That redhead that he puts? Okay.
That's the one. And that thing is an absolute compression monster. Okay? That the head's right down, the squish is down there to 0.9.
On the squish?
The squish, yes.
Wow.
So with that, I run 3 different pipes. And all 3 pipes, other than the 71, that big ass
goofy looking pipe.
Yep. It did not like it. That engine did not like any of those pipes. Either it was it didn't have anything on the bottom, or it didn't have anything in the middle, and then it would come in. Now the 71 pipe, the way that that pipe is designed and as big as the exhaust tip is, that engine, it's like if you go back to when Wade and I were at the park, you can hear that, and it's almost it almost sounds like a 2-speed, because all of a sudden it's got massive torque, then it starts coming into power, and then it comes into more power. And the reason why I keep flipping the throttle, you can't control it once you get going up. It just keeps digging and pulling.
KGM, the engine that you're having heating issues with, is that the same one you're running as well, Vance? Are they the same engines?
It's the same engine, way different porting.
Okay, different porting.
See, Wade gave Kyle one of his drag 45s, drag modded 45s. So it's basically designed to come into the power band from the middle to the top. It really doesn't have a whole lot as far as the porting goes, the way that Wade had it to begin with. Okay, so by adding another gasket and raising it up just that 1 mil gave it some more bottom end that it was missing.
Yeah.
And the 45 are inherently a stock 45, the new ones all run hot. They
What
all
are you running? What are you guys running for fuel out there? Do you guys all running the Cam 2 out there in New York?
I'm pretty sure the avgas is illegal in New York. I'm running C12, and the only reason I started running
the
C12
C12
when I started buying modified engines, because when you have that extra compression, you have to be able to feed.
Well,
with
yeah,
the
yeah.
engine
That's why I was asking. I would hope that you guys weren't running just regular pump gas out of the.
I run VP 94.
You run the 94, the
Yep.
methanol, the ethanol free.
Ethanol free, yes.
Okay.
VP 94, and Kyle will tell you that redheaded bitch ain't lacking no power, no place.
Now I've seen your videos. It seems really, really good, man.
That thing
You
is an
touch-
absolute animal.
Yeah.
You touch, I mean, if you so much as breathe on the throttle on that remote, you better not have the ass end pointed towards you, because you're going to eat a lot of rocks and dirt and grass. This is the honest truth. I can be going a little bit over half throttle and get into it, and the front end will start to lift.
That's the truth.
That's a God's honest truth. That's no bullshit. And it'll keep pulling until I let go of it.
So my whole thing with running the leaner oil mixture is I can give the engine more of the fuel it wants before the oil follows the plug. So I've kind of, I say this is my formula for tuning is as you add fuel, the fuel's going to cool the engine, and then the more fuel, the cooler your engine's going to run. Is kind of what I run by. And the fuel is going to add power to the engine, because I don't run by the lean as mean.
No, you can't do that with a 2-stroke.
No, you can't. And
Yeah.
even with my nitros, I've always ran them to the. I hear the crackle of the rich, and then I just back them off till I can barely hear it anymore. I still run them fat enough because I don't like breaking stuff.
Yeah, but you can't compare a nitro engine, even though they're based off a 2-stroke. You can't compare a nitro engine to a fifth scale engine, fifth scale 2-stroke. They work completely different.
Right. It's the other one's a catalytic reaction opposed to, but the way I'm talking with my tuning is I've always been a rich is more kind of dude.
I'm the same way.
I
run all my stuff on the rich side.
I like to put mine on the ragged edge and then give them a quarter turn back to fat.
Yeah. I mean, because you look at it this way, you're really not going to destroy an engine running it fat like you will running an engine lean. You're going to be
it's true.
You're going to be a little bit more on the safer side for sure.
I will tell you the truth. This is the God's honest truth. That 45 that Wade made for me has got more left in it. That thing, I tuned it once the whole time I had it. Once. It held the tune all the way through. Wade and I were at the park, and he said to me, "Do you think we ought to squeeze a little more out of her?" And I said, "I can't hold on to any more."
I mean, and that's kind of what I was saying earlier. A lot of people want to tune their stuff to get every ounce of torque and power they can. That's cool. I mean, if that's the type of person you are. Me, this hobby's expensive enough for most people. I like to keep my stuff on the longevity side of the house. The leaner you run them things, you're wearing out the cylinder and the rings quicker. I've seen so many people burn up 2-stroke engines that way. It's not even funny. Then they can't figure out why they're burning them up. It's like, well, damn, you're running it so clean.
I have yet to burn down any of my 2-strokes. I literally have not burned one up since I started. But like Kyle said, a lot of the guys in the sport that burn up their engines, they don't listen to the engine. They think, okay, I need to be this many turns out. They don't listen to the engine. They don't listen to
if you guys pay attention to my live feeds, how many times have I said that over and over? The problem nowadays is most of these guys, they do not have the mechanical ability to listen to an engine and see what it wants. And that's what I tell everybody. You can't go and ask somebody, hey, what are your needles turned at on your high? Are you 1.5 out on your high and 1 1/4 out on the low? Because that engine with them settings might not respond the same as to the settings on my engine, comparing them the same way. You gotta, if you know how an internal combustion engine works and you know what to listen for, that's how you tune it. And it kills me when I see people that all the time. Hey man, what are your settings on your stuff? What are your settings on this? What are your settings on? That's why I won't even tell people. It's like, I'm not even going to tell you that because I do not want you go turning your needles to what mine are. Because then if your engine runs crappier or worse, I don't want you to come back blaming me saying, oh, them settings are crap.
Well, where you live makes a difference too. Like
elevation,
elevation,
all that
barometric,
stuff.
heat, humidity, barometric pressure, elevation, all that stuff.
Daddy 24, what's up, buddy?
Big Daddy 24, what's going on, my man?
He's got some badass SRE engines.
That dude has some nasty SRE engines.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, I talk with him quite a bit. He's one of my newer subscribers about a month ago.
I unboxed a ROVAN 71 that I'm sending away, Daddy 24.
What are you putting that in, KGM?
This is I bought the one for this is going to go in the XLT.
Nice.
I've been debating on pulling the 45 out of my ROVAN and sending it to him.
Don't hesitate, just do it.
Well, I'm trying to decide on what I want to do with it because I thought about building like a mild, I guess what some people would call a drag Baja, I guess, but my 5T is pretty much going to do everything that I want to do with the 5T as far as whether I race it or bash it. I can use it for both. I love the way the 5T handles. The 5B is pretty much either just an all-around basher or a flat open, turn it into a drag chassis or something. So I'm trying to decide, do I want to have him do a crazy drag mod on it, or do I just keep it conservative where I can still bash it? That's what I'm trying to decide what I really want.
You want the updated monster.
Yeah, I know. That's what y'all keep telling me.
Hey,
I ain't like you guys, man. I don't need to be, having all the power in the world, man. I just like to have
yeah, but wait a second. I'm going to tell you this right now. I've owned nitros. I've owned a lot of different motors and stuff, and nothing makes me smile more than when I fire that big bitch up and it starts crack-a-lacking. And I can't get the smile off my face the whole time I'm driving it because it's got just the right amount of stupid mixed in with drivability.
Oh, trust me, before too long, I will have that same reaction and smile that you're talking about. I got something cool coming. Don't worry.
I know you're getting an I know you're getting an ALX. We all know you're getting an ALX GT40.
I got something coming. I'm not gonna say what it is. It ain't gonna be a 40, I can tell you that. It's gonna be bigger than a 40, but
you're gonna go to 88 Diablo?
No, it ain't gonna go that big. That
Kyle
thought,
and I-
that I'm going to tell you why I wouldn't do that. That was one of the things that I wanted. I wanted to get one of the Diablos, but I'm going to tell you why not. I do not want to have to take that 5T and turn it to RC Max everything, because once
That's
you
what
have
you
to
did.
once you have to beef all that up, it goes right back to talking about adding another freaking probably 6 pounds worth of aluminum to just be
Yep.
able to make that thing hold together. I'm not knocking anybody that does that. That believe me, when I watch people's videos running them 71s and the twins and the 88s, I think that stuff is all cool as hell. What I do not like about it all is every vehicle that I see those guys run, it don't matter how much money they got in them, they're always snapping something. Always break. I mean, them engines are just made for pure out ridiculous power. Everybody would love to have that. I've had stuff like that in my life. I know what that stuff can do. I'm at that point now. I want something with power, but that's not breaking my platform every time, because we all can agree there ain't nothing worse going out and getting
Then-
3 minutes of runtime before something breaks, and then you're hauling that thing back in the truck, back in the shop, breaking it back down, seeing what broke. That, to me,
Then
that
you-
shit just gets old real quick.
Then you would like the Monster 45. I've got bone stock TS. The whole gearbox, everything is bone stock. And I mean, I punish that thing. I don't baby it. And I haven't broken apart in it.
That's why I've done with the 5T while I have already. I'm sure some people pay attention to the stuff I talk about in my videos and my lives, but everybody says, why'd you take a brand new 5T, strip it down, and put all that aftermarket stuff on it? Well, because I'm preparing it for something. But
Well,
what
I
I'm-
did that with my DBX.
yeah,
Rally
what's
Friday,
going to end
I
up
swapped
in it,
all the dip
being
cases and
bone
all that
stock,
stuff.
is not going to hold up to what's going to end up going in it. So that's why I started tearing that down and getting a jump on certain things that I felt that it would need. And I don't know everything about this hobby. I learned from a lot of you guys, common sense stuff that I figure what's going to be the weak point on it, and I just adjust fire from there. I'm sure whenever I get what I got that's going to go in it, I'm sure some stuff's going to break that I haven't beefed up, but I won't know till I get it in there and see what it's going to do.
What's
Yeah.
up, this scale?
Hey, Chris, what's up, man?
Chris, what's
KGM.
going on?
KGM, are you interested in coming to Jersey in the spring for a
Oh.
physical race?
Dude, as long as I don't have to ride through Philly, sorry if anybody's from Philly.
Yeah.
I took the whole family to Wildwood this summer, and I had to drive through Philly at like
Philly's the worst, dude.
2:00, and there's no easy way through Philly. You got to go
No.
through downtown to
Yep.
get back over the bridge. What bridge is that right there in Philly?
I forget the name, dude. I don't go out that way much.
It's that big suspension bridge. I wish I remember the
I
name.
know exactly what you're talking about.
I can see
I'd
it
honest-
now. Kyle
I'd
would
honestly.
say,
What's it? Go ahead.
I can see it now. Kyle would say, I'd really like to bring the whole family, but there's only room enough for my cars.
Because KGM, what I want to do when the spring happens is Jersey Jason, I was talking to you two in chat. I want to do a fifth scale race. And it's not going to be super fancy because you've seen the pit, but there's a flat spot at the pit that'd be great for a fifth scale race. And
Absolutely.
call it the Dirty Jersey. And because it's going to be
Dirty
kind of
Jersey.
like thrown together, and we'll just a bunch of us be racing, and then after the race we'll just bash our trucks and stuff too. But I think like a Dirty Jersey fifth scale race would be sick.
Yeah, I think I told you this in your live with the when I was sending you that engine. I was like, I was gonna load up a bunch of cars in the truck and hit you up when I was down there. And I'm like, she would have killed me if I would have left for a day or something.
Yeah, dude.
To go do that.
Like, I'm telling you, springtime, I definitely want to try to do that. So if we can figure something out, get a few guys out there, we'll have like 4-wheel drives, 2-wheel drives, and then have a good old bash day too. Make like a weekend out of it. It'd be sick, dude.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So we've been talking about something on my live about like that, trying to get just a crap load of people this upcoming spring or maybe even early summer, people that live, here on the East Coast, obviously I know people from, the West Coast, are going to be wanting to driving all the way over here just for a meetup bash. But a bunch of us, pretty much all of us in here right now are on the East Coast. It wouldn't be nothing to meet up with one another for a weekend just to do some bashing or just hanging out or whatever. But we've been trying to put together something like that for a while.
Keep me posted, man. I'm always down to break stuff.
Yeah.
Even Daddy 24 said, "We have the worst roads in Philly. You'll kill yourself on a bike. It's very scary to ride the Philly streets."
Yeah, Philly's horrible, man.
Man, that's how it is when I have to go through Pennsylvania when I go home to New York, man. It's like Pennsylvania roads. They've been working on them things for the last 30 years that I've noticed. Crazy.
But yeah, definitely. I definitely want to try to organize something. Like I said, it's not going to be crazy. It's not going to be nothing like RC Sparks did with like a start gate and all that stuff. But like we can definitely make like a solid course there and just have a good old race and set up some tents and hang out and make a day out of it. It'd be sweet.
Gus said he'll take 2 weeks vacation. He'll have to come out.
You should, Gus. 100%, dude.
I'm retired. I'm retired. I'm on vacation every day. That's the great thing.
I got about 35 years to retirement. The countdown's around here somewhere. I just got to find it.
35 years. Holy crap.
Yeah. By the time I'm ready to retire, the country will be bankrupt.
Don't get me started on that stuff.
You'll be speaking Chinese by that time.
I didn't even have to spend that long in the military to retire, man. 35 years? Good Lord.
I told a friend of mine who's been married forever, I said, you could have killed her and only done 15.
So he's probably going to be like 60, 65 before he retires in. I don't know how old KGM is.
Yeah, 65, man, if I'm lucky.
So you're in your 30s?
Yeah, he's a young pup.
How old are you?
I'm 30 on the money, buddy.
Really? You're exactly 30 years old?
Yeah.
Wow, bro. Man, I'm on 15 years
I
old.
vaguely remember.
Can't tell it by the...
No, I was going to say, man, I'm 15 years older than
aging
you.
like milk, KGN. You're aging like milk, dude.
Holy
Oh,
crap. Dude, I thought you were my age.
No.
Damn.
Yeah.
30 years old? Holy crap.
I'm
I
33.
got you all beat.
Well, yeah, obviously you do, but damn, I knew KGM was young, but I didn't think he was that young.
Oh yeah, he's a young. Well, when you got one still running around the house and just coming out of diapers, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I did a whole military career longer than he's been alive. Good Lord.
Yeah.
And it's great because my wife was making fun of me because I really started to get back into this stuff during the lockdown and everything. And she'd be like, all you do is play with those toy trucks. You're a grown man. And now I see people who are much older than me, not by much, but people who are older than me and stuff that literally have been doing it for 20 some years. And I'm like, it just makes me, be like, haha, told you so, honey.
Dude, I'm right there with you. Like I said, I'm 33, and people are like, you play with RC cars? I'm like, hell yeah, I do. And I was like, dude, I talk to people that are older than me that have been doing it way longer than me. And like, they're like, really? And then you show them, like my buddy at the pit the other day, he ran a hobby grade for the first time, and then he was like, I need to get one. Like, people don't think, like, they think toy car, but they're not realizing, like, they are toys, but they're no joke, they're big boy toys.
Gus,
Dude,
Gus and
thing?
Trace, yeah, Gus, I think me and you are the same age, Gus.
This thing is for a little toy grade RC. This thing was a freaking ripper. My kid was having it pops wheelies and shit. Honestly, I was impressed for it only being like a $40 toy grade.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not anything that I would, run myself, but for a 4-year-old, it's perfect.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I have fun with the cheap ones too. The ones that have like full steer either way, there's no like in between, and like you just rip them around like your hardwood floor and stuff. They're fun. Like, I don't care.
I have this it's an F-150 body. It's a Radio Shack monster truck that I had when I was a kid. I probably got it when I was 10 years old or something like that. And I want to get it running again in the worst way because I just remember having so much fun with it when I was that young, and I can't find the AM remote for it anymore. So I have the truck.
I think I have an old AM remote someplace.
It's weird though because the toy grade, they don't have a receiver and everything. It's all on a microchip.
Yeah,
It's hard. I took it apart and I was going to put a receiver in it, and I wasn't going to mess with it because it's.
I remember the first good radio that I ever bought was a Fatabo. God, I can't even. And that was back in 1983. And man,
I was
spent
still just a
100.
twinkle in my daddy's eye back then.
I paid $100 for that radio, and I thought, are you freaking ridiculously kidding me? $100 for a radio? Now I can't even buy a servo.
Yeah, man.
And my first car was a gold pan RC10. That was my very first RC car ever.
That's nuts. Now you got people running radios that are like $700, $800
or more.
Yeah, for a remote.
I can't believe some of the engine setups and everything, like the ALX and everything. You're spending $4,000.
Yeah,
for the engine and the pipe.
You could go buy a hoopty car that you could drive to work every day for that.
Right,
crazy.
If I'm spending $4,000 on an RC, it better be a Raminator.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm going to spend.
I'm with you on that.
It's one of them things when it comes to ALX and it comes to RC Max, you're paying for the name, you're paying for all that billet aluminum stuff that's on them, the good reed cages and stuff. But when you see a single piston, and I'm not talking about the twins, but like the single engines, when they're up around $3,000 and $4,000, there's no way them things cost that much on an average.
Yeah,
I think a lot of that stuff, you're paying for the reputation and the name. And don't get me wrong, ALX, RC Max, when the Finleys were around and stuff, I mean, all great engines, but I just can't believe some of the prices of some of them engines nowadays. It's like, wow.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's like when you get old, right? And the old timers, when they got old and retired, what'd they do? They went out and bought a Cadillac, right?
Yeah.
So it's basically the same thing. Is they finally got the money to do it. The kids are all grown up out of the house, and hey, if you got the money, by all means, throw it at it. But I can think of a lot better places I can spend $6,000.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people out there realize that, man. I mean, I've been around long enough and experienced a lot of different things from, RC cars, quads, boats, jet skis, snowmobiles, bikes, all that stuff. You look at a lot of that stuff, what it actually costs to produce one of them and what they sell for, they're marked up through the roof. It's just like, take the RC Max stuff. I'm not saying anything bad about RC Max because they're like the top of the line out there. They are great stuff.
Absolutely.
But if you look at what it actually costs to make one of them engines, let's just say anything like the 40 GT is like a $1,200 engine, I think. You get the 46 and the 50; those are right around like 21. And then you get into the 3 and a little over 3 when you start getting up around the 71, and then the 88 Diablos and stuff. But if you really can pair it, he's not hand making that stuff in his business. There's a machine shop that he's contracting that out that is making them cases, pouring the molds and all that stuff. And, he might get all that stuff and assemble it himself. So you're more or less paying for the reputation and the man's time. But the actual products and all that, I just don't see where they get charging $3,000 for a single cylinder fifth scale engine.
I know what you're saying,
Crazy.
but at the end of the day, too, you got to think like, yeah, he might not make those in house, but he also has to pay a company to build it the way he wants
and I
it.
get that. That's I mean, yeah, I figure that in
nowadays
too.
is super high. His labor, you know, so it's,
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's
else,
the problem with the hobby is because so many people have their hands in it. That's where it starts pushing the cost. It's just like, you look at a lot of the parts and stuff. They're like the cost of like one single part. It don't cost.
I'll tell you what. I have on my 5B. I have quite a bit of RC Max stuff, right? And I gotta tell you that, and I know that if anybody's listening, I'll get my ass chewed because as far as strength goes, a ROVAN frickin' $20 part is just as good as that $60 part. That's my opinion.
Well, and the tolerances on, you could attest to this, on those RC Max parts, the tolerances, Vance, you were telling me about that part you had to Dremel just to get it to fit on your Baja.
I had to Dremel the rear engine mount that I made that bolted right up to my freaking car with no Dremeling.
So I talked to Mike Taylor about that no more than probably 5 days ago. Literally 5 days ago, we had that same conversation. And he told me directly he has a new company that's making all his stuff. The older RC Max stuff, there were fitment problems with stuff. You could get like a 5T case.
Yep.
Go to mate them together. You couldn't bolt them up without Dremel them and fit and doing some modifications to them, like for the front and rear diffs and stuff was a very common problem with the RC Max stuff. Yep. Supposedly all that is fixed now, but he did say that he had another company that was making his stuff, that the tolerances were off and a lot of people, were complaining, and not so much directly at him because Detroit Performance sells all his stuff. So a lot of people are buying this stuff from Detroit Performance. And when they go to fit stuff together, stuff wasn't mating up properly. Stuff would be off alignment. A lot of people were having to Dremel stuff. And he said they did get a lot of that corrected. You really shouldn't see that anymore today. But there is a lot of that old stock stuff still brand new in the bags floating around. So it's just the luck of the draw.
Well, I got to be honest with you. I got a lot of bling. And I'd rather go back to plastic.
When you really look at it, honestly, it's all owner preference. Because to say that my platform is better than so-and-so's because yours has nothing but plastic, mine's got all the high-end aluminum. Well, that high-end aluminum stuff can break just like the plastic stuff does. Trust me. It all will break. It's just a matter of time.
I'd honestly rather run the plastic. So I was going to show you guys this earlier, but this is from my incident when I was with Vance. When we were running, I hit the monkey bars that he always talks about. He keeps rubbing salt in the wound. The case, this is the front diff case for that XLT, and it just pulled the screws out of the plastic. It saved all the aluminum A-arms that are $80 for a set, and all the aluminum parts are fine because this broke first. The $12 part broke before the $80 part. And I was going to put billet diff cases in that, and now I'm not because I saw that, the $12 part did its job and failed.
If you look at it too, sometimes under certain circumstances, it is good to have a weak point in these. With how hard,
absolutely.
With how hard we beat on them, because when you have everything, when you have everything solid aluminum, there's no give in anything. So it's going to be a toss-up of what breaks first. If you got some plastic mixed up in there and you have a hard crash, you can pretty much guarantee what's going to give up first.
Right.
And usually you want it to be the cheapest part that's the easiest to replace and fix.
That's why I do every other part billet plastic. Because on my TS, the front ball joints, I switched them from the nice chrome ones and went to the ROVAN plastics. And the same with my front hub assembly. They're all plastic. When that thing wants to do a death roll at 50 miles an hour, I want those plastic pieces in the front to be breaking.
Well,
Oh, yeah,
and this
for
is
sure.
another thing I was going to say too. Plastic parts, especially on a platform of this size and weight, plastic actually is a whole lot better to have. And thinking logically, because plastic will flex at a certain point without it completely snapping. Whereas you have a hard wreck with the aluminum stuff, you might not totally snap it, but if it bends, it doesn't bend back. It stays in
No.
that position that it got tweaked at. Whereas the plastic, you hit something with it, it will bounce back to where it's at. That's another reason why I like running a lot of the plastic stuff and not having every single piece aluminum. Now, if you're doing like the drag race and like what Bodegel does and all that aluminum stuff is fine because you're really not planning on hitting a tree or a concrete slab or whatever. You know, you might get unlucky and hit something like that.
adds weight.
Yeah,
all
but
that's weight.
as far as a basher, the way you are putting the stress on them parts, aluminum doesn't hold up well. Everybody thinks, oh man, I want the aluminum. It's going to be stronger. Aluminum is not necessarily stronger. It's a lot heavier, but you got to remember, if you do tweak it,
Not melted, haha.
if you do tweak it, wherever it
Yeah,
tweaks
let me
at,
get that body.
that's where it's staying. It ain't gonna bend back on its own.
Let me get that body, KGF.
Now, as we're talking about two strokes, I hate to bring an electric in, but I mean, the company that designed a platform called Extreme Bash, I've been looking at this a lot, and just to see what they left plastic instead of upgrading, that's kind of how I've been looking at stuff. I set this thing at a local skate park when it was 30 degrees out, and it split this diff case right in half. So obviously, that's where all your suspension's going to attach to, and that's what I'm going to want to leave plastic as the weak link. But even, I mean, all the arms and everything on this are plastic too. So,
Well, I'm not gonna lie. With my EXV, I swapped my rear diff case to aluminum
Can you all
because I
still hear
kept
me?
ripping the
we can
the
hear
wing
you.
mount screws out.
Okay, well my GoPro died on me, so you just have to do without.
I kept ripping the screws out of the diff case,
mm-hmm.
the bulkhead. So I actually replaced that with aluminum on mine, just because I kept doing that. So my weak point now would be my arms if they snap, but my weakest point is mine caught on fire. But yeah, that's the only diff case I changed though on that. The front is still plastic, but I kept having an issue with the rear plastic one, and I snapped the chassis on that. Have you seen that video?
Before you put the M2C chassis in, yeah, I saw.
Yeah, that was the first day I had it out. I snapped the whole rear end off.
And honestly, I mean,
that thing had it coming. I beat the snot of it that day.
Yeah, I do like the electric stuff. Don't get me wrong; it's fun to just go out and throw a battery pack and not have to worry about tuning everything. But it comes to the point where it's kind of like, I like the
kind of like
rumble.
dancing with.
Yeah,
It's kind of like dancing with your sister.
I like it all. Like I say it all the time. I like the nitro. I like the two-stroke. I like the electric. I like it all, man.
Honestly, I like running this thing. It's just the batteries keep popping out on me, and I got to figure out a way to. I was going to run the IC.
Don't tighten them too tight. If you tighten those Velcro too much, they'll just pop out every time. They actually have to be looser than you think.
Yeah. So I got XT60s on this right now, and I'm going to switch to the IC5s. That was actually one of my goals this summer, was to take all my batteries and resolder them to IC5 and everything. But I just I got too headstrong into the fifth scale. And
yeah, I got you. What motor and ESC do you have in that?
This is the Max 8 or the Max 6. What's the 8th scale Hobby combo? The Max 6.
Yeah, it's a 6S motor in there.
Yep. Yeah.
If you could find a cheap 8S motor, dude, the air control, and just run it on 6S, the air control on that is fantastic.
Yeah, this is what I'm running This Max 8.
Oh, okay,
It's a Max 8.
Nice setup.
So I run 2 3S packs on it. I love those Ovonic packs.
Yeah, I don't recommend Power Hobby.
Yeah, guys, but I'm actually gonna call it a night here. It's 10:30. I got to work in the morning, and I'm gonna shut it down.
I had to plug my phone in. I was down to 1%.
Well, it's been a pleasure, guys. I'll let you go. KGM, have a good night. Everybody in chat, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks for coming, Chef.
Kyle, I'll be talking to you. I'm gonna try to figure these parts out tomorrow. Yeah, I had another blow up while we were talking.
Well, you guys have a good one. I'm gonna burn out of here too because my GoPro died on me. So
thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it.
All right, guys, y'all take it easy. I'm out.
Yep.
I'll probably be live tomorrow if any of you guys are free. I got some unboxings to do.
Perfect. I'll see if I can show up.
I'll stop by.
Gotcha. All right, I'll talk to y'all later.
See you later. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it.
But this time, what it was the I've been playing with the temperature on the bed because my filament is the temperature on that is good, but the filament on the I had it pumped up to 75 75C, which I think was too hot because what it was doing is it was taking the first layer and melting it right into the bed. So then I backed it up 15 degrees and then it didn't want to stick to the bed. So now I got to find the fine line of where it'll stick to the bed, but you can get the part off without getting a chisel. So that's where I'm at right now. It's gonna take some time, but this stuff here, watch this. This is just a piece of it. You can't bend it. You can't break it.
Yep.
You know. So, you know, I get what everybody is trying to say, but you know. Now, do I think I can? I don't know if the A-arms are possible, but I definitely know I can build the transmission cases. I can build the motor mounts, shock towers. I can build some ridiculous shock towers. And the A-arms for the 5B, I can make those. But the TS, that's a whole nother engineering thing, man.
Right.
You know, that is not just copying what you got and calling it good, because that ain't never going to work. So that's all. I'm just going to mess around with that. I'll get it tuned in. Hell, it took me 3 days to print one thing till I figured it out. So what makes me think I was going to grab this carbon fiber PLA and put it on the bed and it was going to be a perfect. I figured this 1 pound roll is just all experimental. It's just $30 out the window. That's all it is. But there you go. If you don't buy it, you can't learn, right?
Right. 100%.
You know? And if you buy something that's too cheap, what are you learning? So I tried to get mid-grade. So I'll figure it out. I'll be sending you a picture tomorrow. I'll get it figured out. So
I know you will. You always figure it out. But all right, I'll see you later. Everybody else, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate everybody coming out. I'm glad the quality was good and everybody was able to hear me well. Well, we'll do it again sometime. So thanks for watching, guys.
Crystal clear, man.
I'll catch you on the next one. See you later, Vance. Thanks for joining in.
I'm out.
I'm out too, guys. Thanks for watching.